All right, all right. Welcome everybody to our live swing trading room. And if you're on YouTube with us, Market Mondays. I hope you guys are doing great. Hope everybody is having a beautiful day. I hope you're had a great weekend. Appreciate y'all's patience with us last week as we were traveling. We had an awesome time in um, Texas with family. Honestly, it was the best we could have hoped to have had with Kate's dad. So I really appreciate everybody being patient with us as we were traveling there. And I heard Ramez did a great job. I was able to jump on once or twice, um, and join you guys just a little bit. So that was fun to see, do, and handle. So having said that, y'all ready to dive into today? S&P going for it, baby. We are going for that bearish engulfing on the day. 68, 36, 33 is the target. If you were in our day trade room, we actually called out this trade lower. This is kind of what it looked like off that 5 minute. I don't know if anyone took this or not. If you did, maybe you got stopped out on the reversal, but if you got back into it, that's what you're going for. This is crushing it at this point. But this is what we're looking for is this 68.51. That's the target. I kind of drew out. I'm about 3 points off, so that's not bad when you're guesstimating. Trying to get into that 68.51 area. But this is a beautiful short, beautiful look here. Great trade. Great trade on that. So we went 1-0 on the trade call outs. As far as our day trade room went, we took a trade back here somewhere. Back here, moved to break even. Might have been this doji sandwich. Moved to break even. Look for another trade. Coming on down. Was it this one? This trade. This is the trade we took, and then we looked for this trade. Moved our stop to break even, got stopped, and then it dropped all the way lower. So great look here. Great look. Sellers trying to regain control here on the weekly chart. This looks good. I'm not from a bearish standpoint, this looks good. We just hit that 68.51 zone, by the way, right there. This looks good. I'd love to see this flip really quick and go blue, because you know what happens when we go blue, right? Some of y'all do. Others of you may not. It just depends on how long you've been here with us. So we want to see this go blue. That means it went bearish engulfing on the day. That was our target. That's what sellers want to hit. The fact that we're doing it this early opens the door to now go into 68.16, 67.75. So we'll see if that ends up taking place in just a second. One little flush should get us there. In the meantime, let's jump to the weekly chart, and you will see, ooh, we got a potential engulfing on the week. Cool, man. Well, that's even more fun. All right, so after we go engulfing here on the daily chart, which we just did, cue up the music. We always like this song. Get in the club, baby. Going blue, love it. That's an engulfing. That shows conviction. That shows selling. That shows sellers are in control. Could we reverse from here and move up? Yes. Probably not likely. All right. Probably not likely. Ryan knew what time it was. What I like about this, it opens the door now to go into 67.75 on this weekly chart. We may get the start of the week with the bearish engulfing, taking out this low, dropping into 68.17. This is our next target off the daily here. It's actually going to be 68.1986. Let's see if we get a continuation move lower into that. From here, we want to go take this wick out at 67.75. If we do that, that goes engulfing on the week. That engulfing on the week now opens the door to go to 67.20, 66.36, and 65.21, which is a quarterly engulfing target. So from a monthly, we can't go engulfing on the month. We've already taken out the downside. We never broke the high. But if we do come back down into 67.75, that is the low of the month. Then the next target is 67.20 from breaking this low. Do we get there? I don't think we'll have enough momentum to get there by Friday. We could. I don't think we do. But if we're down in that zone, by the end of the month, then it's easy to break 67.20. If we can break 67.20, the target would be 65.21 for March. That goes engulfing off the quarterly, and then that opens the door to go to 61.87 and below. So we could be in for a little bit of crazy here. We'll just have to see. Last time we had a quarterly engulfing, ironically, it was the Q1 of last year. Let's zoom this out so y'all can see it a little better. Q1 of last year. And notice, here's the break. Went to target 1, target 2, target 3. Buyers came back in off that tariff news, recaptured the engulfing, and then rallied into new highs, right? So an engulfing here opens that door to get all the way back down to 55.97, possibly take this level out, which would be an engulfing on the year. That would be wild. So let's see if that plays out. We've got a long time for all of that to work, though. But I'm going to go ahead and tee it up just in case. Bearish engulfing on the year. What would be fun for us, knowing this, if we did get that drop, right? So we've got to start here. So the target by the end of March, if we close at the bottom, which again, sellers are just kicking this thing now. If we get down here by the end of March, is the 61.87 by Q2. That would be by the end of Q2. Down here by the end of Q3. And then down here by the end of Q4. And so if we were to get this giant of a flush and we're able to see it, do you think we could capitalize on it and make some money on the way down? Yes or no? Absolutely we could. Right? Absolutely we could. So that's what we want to see. So some people are asking about the onboarding replay. I am working on getting all of that done. Okay. So I am working on getting those videos up and going for the replay. I actually went in and re-recorded it because it was a 3-hour session, and we can condense that for an actual onboarding course into under an hour. So we're going to leave we'll put the Q&A in there, and I may just have 2 of them as far as like the pre-recorded and then the live version. And then the goal is going to be to have like a live Q&A type situation for onboarding for Thinkorswim, where we do Q&A with Thinkorswim roughly once every 2 months. And that way, as people come in, we can answer those questions. And then we'll have like an in-depth onboarding for everybody. Like, hey, how do we actually use the analyze feature in TOS? How do we use the think back feature in TOS? How do we use this feature in TOS? And then we'll do one for TradingView. We'll do one for NinjaTrader. And so we're going to try to work those in for everybody. Okay. All this being said, this is our first goal. I'm not calling a top here. So I don't want you to think like Mark's calling a top, the market's going down, right? I'm just saying this looks really bad. Here's an attempt at a new high that we failed. Here's an attempt to recover, and we failed. And so at this point, we do have a wedge forming here and here. So if we break 67.75, which I think we probably will, we're almost to 68.19, which that's their next target. So we're almost down there already. If we get there, that is super bearish. And so now any rally up, you're looking to short. So Let's watch. Let's add these moving averages. I want to see where we're at. So here is when our 8 went below the 21. We're just now getting below these. I think we have the 100s, what we bounced off of. If that breaks, again, the 67.75, that's our weekly zone. If that breaks, that a boy, Ryan. Did you take it short, buddy? Heck yeah, man. 14-point runner. Is that with one contract MES or two contract MES? What'd you do on that?
I took a half size 5 micros, and
Nice.
then I had one runner.
Good for you, buddy.
Took
Great
took
trade.
took 3 at 1-to-1, one at 2-to-1, and then that was a 5-to-1 on that runner.
Heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah, dude. With a baby in the background. Y'all hear that?
That's right.
Come on, super dad. Let's kick it. I love that, man. Great job. Good trade. That's one of the things I love about what we're teaching is like once you get acclimated to what you're looking for and you have our call outs for the day, like, hey, these are our price targets, you can do this yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the goal. I want you guys to become independent traders. All right. So looking at this again, if we break this 100, the 60, 67, 75, which that's Friday's target, I mean, the 200's way down here. That's almost at, I think, is this our engulfing? Yeah, let's do this. We'll show that on the right. Bam. All right. That's our targets. Thinking we probably get down into that. I'm thinking we probably at least visit that. Okay. Dow getting smoked today. It's down 800. Nice turn here. This is what you're going to hear a lot of people say looks like a head and shoulder. So here's a big shoulder. There's your head. Here's your shoulder. If this breaks 48, 475. Now look, notice we're just now breaking our uptrend line. Y'all see that? Right. So here's this uptrend, uptrend. Boom. We're just now breaking it. This is transition, people. This is the transition. Here's this move up. Here's your pullback slash swing low. There's your pullback, swing low. Boom. New swing high. Pullback. That's a pivot. Broke your pivot. Now we're breaking the swing. That is transition. So we're in transition on the Dow. We are transitioning into. Let's do this for a second. Got a hop regular. So here's our indices. On the Dow, we're in transition. S&P, still in transition. Still in transition, right? Here's this high. Here's a swing low, lower low, lower high, broke a low, potential lower high. If this breaks, but we didn't break it with conviction. If we break the 67.75 with conviction to move on down, now we're in a downtrend, right? So right now, all this is transition. This is transitional garbage, right? Notice we just hit 68.19 as foretold by the prophecy, or almost. And then getting on down. Oh no, I didn't want to do that. There we go. All right. Let's go to the NASDAQ. Down 380 points. This is in a downtrend. So this has transitioned. We're in a downtrend. There's your move up. There's your drop. drop, drop, retest a high. So this is a higher high. This would be your swing. Broke the low, lower high, broke a low, lower high. We should come on down into 24,387, 24,239, and then 23,854. That's what we should look at here. But we are in a downtrend. And then last but not least, we've got the Russell. Russell's been pretty strong. Small caps have been pretty strong here in a wedge. Honestly, we're still not in a bad situation. Like this is a wedge. We're not even into a full transition yet. So let's do this. If we put a transition here, we'll go check, check, check. Not yet. How do I know? Here's your high, right? So you could say this is a pullback. I mean, that's maybe. This is a pivot, lower high, higher low, lower high, just now breaking that low. I would like to see this area break here to say, hey, we're actually in that transition. And if we get follow through lower, move back up, this would be my first short after the transition. This would be my first short after the transition. Does that make sense? All right. So that's kind of what we're looking for here. That's where we're at. Big picture. Jump this out. You can see we just took out this low. That's not a good sign for the weekly. Harami'd off the month. Nothing worried about there. Quarterly still looks great. If you jump to the Dow, same situation. Quarterly inverted hammer, nowhere near an engulfing. Monthly does not look good. We've got a monthly engulfing potential here. I don't know if we get there. I mean, we can. That's one more day like today, we go engulfing on the monthly. So yeah, we could get there. We could get there, especially if we break this 48,475 point level right here. We break that, that's transitioned. We're looking rough. And then the NASDAQ, there's your daily. We're taking out this low, can't get the high yet. Coming back down. If we take out 24,387, now we're dropping to 239. Now we're dropping to here. Is that an engulfing? We can't go engulfing. We didn't take out the high. We did not take out that high. So we can't have an engulfing, but we're significantly lower here on the monthly. You guys see that? Significantly lower on the month, taking out this monthly target. This is the next monthly and quarterly target to go take. And if we take that target, that turns this monthly black for the drop. That opens the door then to come on down into 22,594, 22,388. So we can't go engulfing here, but this does look pretty gnarly. All right. Okay. Russell. I'm sorry, the gold. Gold looks fantastic. This is starting to move back up. This looks really strong here. A lot of people are nervous about economics right now. Dalio, I posted a trade, or not a trade, but an article from Ray Dalio in here. Did you guys read that? Really nice article from Ray Dalio. He promoted gold and silver hard in that article, basically saying like the reason gold and silver are rallying is because everybody's losing confidence in fiat currencies. And so this is still a great flight to safety type situation. This is a good move. This is a potential, here's this giant pullback. I know everybody freaked out and they're like, this just crashed. Like, that's kind of clickbait. Did it drop? Yeah, it's a 47% drop from its absolute high to the absolute low. But you have to look at this and say, man, this just rallied. Last year's low was 28 bucks and you just rallied 340%. So getting that large of a pullback, yeah, that's fine. But you just found support and now you're kicking back up. We could easily see this back up into 100 to 120. Easily could see that rally back up into 100 to 120. Gold, I'm not going to be shocked to see gold get back up here into 56 and then 6,000. Okay. Can I repost the Dalio article? Keith, is that what you're looking for? All right, give me a second. There you go. I posted it there and in YouTube if you're watching on YouTube world. So that's the article he posted on X. It's about an hour and a half read. It's an hour and a half read. Bitcoin, let's look at it real quick. This is continuing to drop, but a decent hold at 64. Decent hold here at 64. I don't know if this is going to be a flat to safety or not. I mean, you got smoked in overnight session, but you're holding up really well. Look at this wick. Let's jump into. You know, you had this selling and then buying, selling, trying to get more buying volume coming in here. I like this. I like this area. I'm not saying I'm buying this here, right? So remember, we had a big conversation, and it's actually on our YouTube channel, like posting, what are you playing? Like, what game are you actually playing? Type situation. Are you playing a long-term buy and hold game? Because if you are, this is not a bad zone to buy. If you're saying, man, I'm long-term Bitcoin, I'm buying and holding this forever, this is not a terrible spot. 50 is a lot better, but this is not a terrible spot. If you're saying I'm swing trading this and I want to get in for this next move in case we do come back up into 82, fill the gap, maybe get into 90 before it rolls back down, then what we're going to want to see here looks a lot different. What we would like to see would be a move up, pull back, then take this transition from this little downtrend on the daily into a transition to try to move back up into 80, 82, 83, maybe 90, right? So it just depends on what you're trying to look at here. Can you trade IBIT with it? Yeah, you can trade IBIT. IBIT is the ETF for Bitcoin. And so this is going to track Bitcoin almost percent for percent. So Bitcoin's down 3.3, IBIT's down 3.38. So again, I would like to see that IBIT personally give a push back up into kind of 42-ish, like go retest this high, pull back, and then give a trigger, take that trade, we minimize our risk, and now we're looking for this move back up. Now we're looking for this move back up. Anything else, like any other ETF? Is that what you're asking, Deborah? If you go to crypto, I don't know if I've actually shared this watch list with y'all. If we come over here to like BITB is another ETF. I don't know how well this tracks though, to be honest with you. FBTC, I mean, as far as the day, most of these look like they're on par with Bitcoin. Like they're all down 3.3. So, you know, these are three other options. I know some people don't want to do anything with IBIT just because I think BlackRock owns it. Or is it BlackRock or Vanguard? Let's go to analyze fundamentals. BlackRock, yeah. So BlackRock's the one who owns it. So if you don't want to mess with them, that's fine. All right, let's look. Let's look at our potential trades. Schlumberger here. I stopped out of Schlumberger last week on a pullback. Again, I was more dealing with emotional stuff. I was trying to be really, really present for my family. I know some of you guys took this and you're still in this. This is great. If you are, fantastic trade. If you're in this, I would be moving my stop loss up to 50 even. See if we can't get up into that 1272, 52, 88. All right. Halliburton, again, same situation here. I know we took a little bit of gains. I stopped out of this at break even on the 17th. Some of you took this all up into 35.50. Great trade if you did. At this point, I would be moving my stop loss up to about 34.50 if you're still in this. If you're not in this and you're out, good for you. Good for you. What about XRP? Same situation. I've read an article on XRP that makes me super nervous, to be honest with you. I know so many people wanted Bitcoin and Ethereum and Ripple and all that to get away from government. But if the government creates their own cryptocurrency stablecoin through these systems, it can tax and control the complete monetary system, like all of it. And I know people are like, oh, they would never do that. Like they would 1,000% do that. And so the best way to do it is, try to have it for you. So, what is the ETF for Ripple? There is one. I think it's XRXP. There is one. Is it just XRP? Yeah, it might just be XRP. There you go. XRP. Again, I don't know how well this moves. There was another one that we traded though that was like, I can't remember it, but XRP works on that. This is an ETF as well. XRPC. Thank you, Deborah. There you go. All right. All right, all right. As far as any other trades, Prime, this has earnings coming up this week. You've got to get out of this trade before then. This is barely holding up at this 320. We took this as a channel. It's still alive. It's just like on life support. You know what I'm saying? It's live. It's just on life support. INDI, we stopped out of this before earnings. This was a loss. It is what it is. Still a great potential channel. I was really hoping we got that move up into 425 by earnings, and it just floundered. It is what it is. Coming into close to earnings, a lot of times trades and stocks rally going into earnings. Sometimes they don't. And so we'll look at a couple examples in a second. Wells Fargo, I was really watching this 86 to see if that channel held. It has not. This is breaking down. So be careful with that. Twilio, this is another one. Potential channel here at 109. We've got a double Harami on the week. I liked this for this 110 hold. So when you zoom in over here, you've got this monthly zone of potential support with resistance, support. Got back up above it. These two wicks trying to test that level, resistance. I wanted to see if this 109 could hold and potentially give us another channel up into 138. And then when you look at it off the weekly, you have a slight uptrend here. Maybe this comes down into 100 because this potential area roughly here as a channel is intact. So I like this. I'd like to just kind of watch it here, but at the same time, if we're going to start transitioning to shorts, I want to start looking for those opportunities as well. All right, buyers stepping in hard here, by the way. This is a beautiful engulfing off the 15-minute, you're getting a nice hammer turn here. Maybe we come back up and hold again this level. Like I said, this level at 68.19, which we hit to the daggum T. Look at this. You just can't make this up, team. Look at your low of the day here. It'll be right here. Look at that guy. 68.1982, 68.1986. When you're 4 cents away on your target, that's a pretty daggum good target. I love this game. This is a fun game. Truist rolling over. That's not good for regional banks. Starbucks. I liked this 93.84 zone coming into the week. This is super choppy. We'll have to just kind of watch it. Joy. Beautiful weekly uptrend. Beautiful weekly uptrend. I believe this is a shipping company or trucking company. No, it's a communication service. All right, my bad. I thought that was a shipping company. Communication service, good hold. I want to see if we can get follow through on this. You do have off the daily this look. That's not good. But from a weekly standpoint, we're fine. So what I'd like to see would be a retest of 66, pullback, and rally. That gives you the transition off the daily, kind of like this move. If we can repeat this area here, I would be very happy. Iridium, I like this. Weekly chart, huge move from earnings. Notice this giant drop from September, though, right? Like huge drop off that weekly / monthly. Let's chart this out. We'll get a couple targets. That is a beautiful quarterly target. 30 would be a great target to get into. We've got to be mindful here. Between 25-ish. That's a good weekly target as well. That is a pretty little channel. I would not be shocked to see this kind of come back up into 25.40. I like this hold. Let's go a little bit more data. Notice this drop, move up, drop, right? Here's this downtrend, move up, pull back, working its way back higher, holding these highs, great earnings that pushed us up. Holding this 21.79 would be ideal. We don't have a trigger on this yet. I can tell you that. But, you know, does this drop all the way down to 29.71 and then kick up? I don't know. But a hold of 21.79 would be ideal. If we were to get a trigger here, I'm going to be looking to take out 24, get back up into 25.65, and then take out this 25.40. What do we know is right here? Who is positioned here? Sellers, right? So we know this is resistance, and we also know that there are a lot of sellers positioned here. We also know that there's a lot of sellers positioned here at this gap open. So what would be really cool would be to like get a trigger, run this thing up into 25. if we break 25.4, what's going to happen to all these sellers? What happens to these guys? They have to turn into buyers because they'll want to cover their shorts, right? So they buy, we get that short squeeze. This thing could pop all the way up really quickly. So that's scenario one. Scenario two is that the whole market does end up rolling over and it just rolls over with the market and this becomes a moot point. This becomes a moot point. I like this though. I think this is worth keeping an eye on. This is going to be big risk from what we normally do. That's not bad at all. 3%. Okay, never mind. I thought it was going to be a lot bigger risk than that. Now, if you come all the way down here, it's bigger risk. It's 6%. To make 6%. I like this 3 here. If we can get a trigger and break that 3%, that's your first target at 3.5 to retest your high. So that's a 1-to-1. That's not a bad look. Then you want to get on up here into that 6%. Now, again, you might think, dude, you're saying the market's going to drop and you're looking at bulls. I'm looking at patterns. Remember, we're in transition here. I'm just saying, if we take out 67.75, now we can take a short into 66.36. At this point, we are choppy. Last time we were here, so I'm not wanting to get short yet because last time we were here, we rallied. Then we got here and we rallied. And then we got here and we rallied. And then we got here and we've bounced a little. Like we know buyers are defending the 6,800, 6,820 zone. We know that. This is the end of 2025. That dotted line, if these words were here, it would say 2026. That is the demarcation point of 2025, 2026. And so if you look up top, you'll see 2026. Yep. So
Question.
again, I'm not. Come again.
Question on Iridium. Would you watch the Russell to see before going bullish on Iridium?
I mean, you can. I would probably just take the trade because you always have your honey badgers, Paul. You're always going to have those outliers that just do what they want to do.
Yeah, that was my question because it looked a little counter trend, but I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean this looks fantastic. So, and I mean I like this little bit of a pullback here. The question is, does this? I mean that doesn't have any symmetry. This doesn't have any symmetry at all on your pullback. Little bit of symmetry here on the bullish move. Little bit of symmetry there. That would put you up at your target if we did get that move. I like it. We just need a trigger. We probably don't get one today, but we need a trigger. So let's go ahead and just make an alert for a trigger. And remember, just because you get the trigger alert doesn't mean you have to take the trade, right? So if we get an alert here and the whole market's down 150, do you have to take that trade? Maybe you're like, hey, you know what? I know I need to trade with the trend of the overall market. I don't like the way this looks. I'm just going to hold off. You absolutely can do that, right? You absolutely can do that. Symbiotic, this is a robot company. I'm highly considering trying to make a localized EMP tool for the robot uprising. I was gonna Google how to make an EMP at home, but I didn't want to get even more on any watch list that I'm already on from the government, so I decided not to. But if anyone knows how to do that, let me know. Go ahead, Paul.
You'll take down our phones.
Right. They're listening. It's like the old meme. No, we're not going to have that government listening device in the house. 2026. Hey, government listening device, can you do this, this, and this for me? Biogen looks pretty nice here. We're covering a really good area on the weekly. I like this recovery. I really like this recovery. Notice back here from 2022, support, 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 big rally, support back here in 2024, drop, resistance, resistance. We've just recovered this area. I like this potential push back into 219. You've got a double Harami. We go engulfing here. This looks really nice. Watch that. That's your ultimate monthly goal off this move. Beautiful potential channel. Look at this channel from 219 to 3. 219 to 3. Drop. Back up. That's a great quarterly, monthly target. Oh, that looks good. Look at that. We're clearing this quarter too. So this is a good quarterly / monthly target to try to get into here. I'm just now starting a YouTube channel. I'm going to say something and get shadow banned out the gate. 4.4 risk to make 4, 6, 12, 18. That's not bad. I'm just saying, man, if you could create something that's like a, y'all ever seen Ant-Man? You know, on Ant-Man, dude has those little discs like this, and if you throw them and it hits you, it'll grow something and it can shrink you or grow you. You know, like if you had one of those, but it was an EMP, then you could like throw it on the robot. And it'd be localized for like a 3 to 5 foot area, something like that. I think that'd be cool, man. I'd buy it because I'm most likely going to buy a robot, but I just want protection for it. And if I can get it with Grok's voice, I'd be like, hey, I want you to talk to me in the voice of Arnold Schwarzenegger, please. That'd be awesome. I like Bib a lot. Let's move this up. Let's move this up. This looks decent. Let's see how this closes. I don't want to buy it here, but let's just see how it closes. A lot of our security company stocks got hit hard because Claude reported a security feature. I don't know if you guys saw that. A lot of these companies are struggling now. They came out Anthropic came out with a new version of Claude. This code security right here, boy, it hurt them. It hurt cybersecurity companies. Cisco, God, we could short that. This looks shortable. By the way, this weekend we are teaching our debit spread class. So if you've purchased debit spreads, you can come join us. If you haven't, you can buy it and come join us. I'll be sending out those emails this week to register, join, all the things. So that'll be on Friday. That is a trigger short. This is 3.68 to make 4. That's what we're looking for here. Let's tee this up. All right. I would have a stop loss over 80.50. Let's go to your risk profile. Let's put our stop loss in first at 80.50. We're going to have targets at 74, 72, and 70. 74, 72, and 70. Do an 80 by 82 put credit spread. Analyze that. Let's go out to April. Do an 80 by 85. That's not bad. Analyze that. Let's do an 82 by, what's our first target? 74? Do 72. It's a $10 wide. That's not bad at all. Do an 82 by 85. I'm going to jump back to April and do a 82 by 72. And 80 by 72. Then I'm going to go to, that spread's terrible. I just recognize that. Ooh, that's awful. We'll analyze some puts and we will analyze May. I'm going to do May 80s. They just opened May, so you don't have a lot of open interest there yet. Let's see what we got. All right, let's look at our credit spreads. If we're right, if we're wrong tomorrow, we lose $50. That's terrible. We're trying to make 30. So if we go to target, we're in great shape. See if this goes to the 27th. Fine. Let's go to April. We'll do the 80 by 85. We're trying to make or lose 65 bucks here. Target 1, we're there. If we stop out tomorrow, we're in trouble. But if this goes to next Friday, we're okay. March 6th, we're in great shape. So if this takes 2 weeks to drop, we're in great shape. I like this. I like this April move. I like that better than the front month, so I'm going to go with that. March put spread, that's a 50% stop to make 50%. That's humongous. That's a lot better. %46 stop. That's still not ideal. Good news is it stayed a positive. That's not bad. If we go out to April, it's going to look even better. We're losing 160 here on 423. That's a 37% stop loss. But if we go to target, I mean, you're just killing it at target. You're making way more than you're losing. I like that a lot. All right, so that's a winner. %30 stop. It's 80 by 82. That's not bad. Going out to April for the debit spread's not bad at all. 82 puts, you're looking at almost a 50% stop loss going out to April. That's awful. But you're killing it if we hit these other targets. That's 100% ROI at 70, which is down here, continuing your trend. That's not bad. And it would be great for this thing just to come all the way down there. That would be just super cool, man. Here's the downside, though. If this goes, I mean, you're over 50+% stop loss. Like, it's a big stop. If we go out to May, this is going to look a lot better. You're not even at 50% in May. Downside of that, I mean, this isn't a bad setup. It's a 29% stop if we're wrong tomorrow. You're still making more than you're losing at T1 till for 2 weeks. That's not shabby. So I would do that. All right. I like all these setups for this trade. Let's see what this looks like. I like this short, though. I'm going to look at this end of day. I want to see what this looks like. I want to see what the market looks like here, but I'm not. This would be my stop. And if you scoot this over, watch this. Let's jump this to 1210. So all I'm going to do here is take the date back. I'm not changing the box. Look at that. Great resistance here. So let's see what this looks like. And by the way, if this drops all the way down to 76.50 or something, I'm not going to take this trade. I kind of want it to hold here, maybe move up and then drop again. I want this to hold, though, before I take it. I want this to hold before I take it. Do I ever use leaps? Yes, I do use leap sometimes. But I'm going to use a leap when I think I would use leaps when I think this has got big drop. Now, this could go engulfing here, too. Look at that. So you go engulfing here. Now that opens the door to get into here. That's pretty. That's pretty. And let's get rid of some of these. That becomes an engulfing on the monthly. That's your new target. Don't know if you get down there or not, but that would be your new target. And then that opens the door to go engulfing off the quarterly. We could use a leap on this. I'd want this to go. So the engulfing is the 76.47, right? That's your engulfing here on the weekly 76.47. That flips your quarterly dark, right? So sellers gain control on the quarterly at that point. You're already in control on the monthly. That opens the door then to go all the way down to 72.80 on the monthly. Because once we take out this level, that's your next weekly target. And so if we do get that drop, boom, now we take out this monthly. There is nothing in between us really from here to down here. You just start running these stops. So a leap here could actually work out. Yeah, let's look at it. Let's look at it. Why not? I don't know if I'd do a full leap, but I mean, probably go to October. No open interest. September's got plenty of open interest. Your bid-ask spreads are garbage. But you got plenty of open interest. You could do these 80s. That's a very, I mean, that's an at the money delta. So that's kind of tough. But I mean, your stop's super reasonable. Like if we're wrong tomorrow, you lose 165 bucks here. That's not bad. You hit these other targets. Now, the downside of this is you would have to be willing to hold, like if you're buying that one, Deborah, you're looking for this bigger target. Right. So if I buy that leap, I'm looking for this to come all the way down here plus, which it can. I mean, if we look at your fib retracement here, that's a 1-to-1 move off this entire guy. So that's what you're looking for. The question is, are you going to be able to hold? Would you be able to hold that all the way down there? And so those of you who came to the conference, you know about delta mining. Yeah, you can delta mine the snot out of that. Let's just see what this ROI would be. Let's go to 70, 66, 81. So, I mean, you're almost at 100% ROI there. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. All right, let's see what this looks like. I'll go about 10 minutes longer here. I just want to get through this list. We may have found us a nice short here on old Cisco. I'm a comic book dork, so when I hear Cisco, I think Cisco Ramon from The Flash. Natural Grocer still trying to hold up. JP rolling over. This gives up the ghost. That's trouble. That does not look good on the monthly. That is a bearish continuation move. We're going engulfing off the quarterly. Zoom getting smashed down into 78. Let's see what happens on earnings here. That is 2 days from now. I would love this to come to 78 and then turn back up. Like, let's see if this old channel kicks back in. That would be perfect. If Tesla gets under 382, I would start looking at that short into 343. Look how pretty that move into 118 was for that gap. Now, we didn't fill the gap, but man, that's pretty. If Apple gives up the ghost, we're going to hit those downside targets. Look at your resistance, all that support, blew through it, resistance again. If this were to roll over and take out 255, we're going to 244. At that point, that's what you're looking for. And then if that gives way, we're going to 230. If all that happens, this market's in trouble. Meta, potential channel, that's at the lows. It looks terrible. Nvidia's got earnings this week, in 2 days. This could save or destroy the market. This stock could save or destroy the market. Last 3 times, all year being here, we have failed. Failed. We're back to it. Right. If earnings is like Microsoft down here, and this thing just gets smoked back to 170, this whole shooting match is going to be in trouble. That's my only reservation of shorting Cisco, to be honest with you. Microsoft looks awful. Amazon's not a bad short here with a stop over 213. I don't know if I want to do that. Google, same. This is trying to hold up, right? This is a great zone of potential support. But if this rolls over and takes out 297, we're going to 282. Broadcom, this is most likely going to move with Nvidia, but this does not look good. This has struggled all year at 352. If you'll remember, we took a trade here, took T1, moved our stop up, got stopped out on this day on it. It is what it is. Or it might have been this day. I think we got stopped out that day. But we hit T1. No, we hit T1, moved our stop up, and then got stopped out that day on that gap. That's what it was. And we just haven't been able to break 352. Follow through down tomorrow. I could short this. Are we doing another conference this year? I doubt it. I think we're going to try to do one every other year. I don't remember Static Shock. I do not remember that. Iran, we're still waiting on this. Nuclear getting smoked. Still like CoreWeave in this area. Earnings this week, can't do anything. We will let you guys know when we're going to do a conference, though. You'll have 6 to 9 months of heads up and plans and all the things. They're fun. I enjoy our conferences. It's a lot of work to host them, but we have a great time. And it's great just to meet you guys and be in person and all the stuff. Yeah, Joshua was there last time. It was awesome. Just meeting. We had a great time hanging out. We do our best just to hang out. Like go to lunch, go to dinner, hang out, talk, hang out on the beach, that kind of stuff. I like Cypher here. This is a great channel. We've got earnings on this tomorrow morning. So let's watch this. Attaboy, Dennis. Look at you making money on IBRX, you rascal. Let's look at it real quick. Good for you, homie. Beautiful move. Look at our target. I mean, it's like they're magnets. We wanted it to go to 1053, break that high. It did it. Did it go engulfing on the year? I don't know if it did. No, it did not. I was going to say going engulfing on the year, that would be nasty. Huge move up. I got stopped out here on this one on my trail stop. I got stopped on the trail stop. I know a lot of you guys held this, went up into that 8, went up into this $10. Great move, man. Great move. Good job, Dennis. I'm proud of you for that, buddy. I know that helps the old P&L. All right, let's look at this. Let's look at this real quick. And then I got to jump. I got to go get my kids from homeschool. All right, this is what we're looking at here. S&P looks pretty gnarly. This is where we're at right now. Our target, the easy move was the daily engulfing. We've already done that, right? That was the easy move. That's where we want to see. If we look up here, this is the ES futures, but if we look up here, we take out that low. So we went bullish engulfing and then sellers just hit it. That's nasty. Target should come down into 67.91. Do we do it today? I don't know, but we've got all week. And if we go break that this week, that's great for sellers. You can see that we're trying to find some support here. We're trying to find some support here. The question is, does that hold? If we look at the NASDAQ futures, big drop, move up, kind of going back and forth. If this is like a 15-minute harami and it breaks to the downside, I'm imagining we go retake out these lows, and then this tries to push into 24.5. So I am not bullish today by any stretch of the imagination. If anything, I'm significantly more bearish on the day. If you took this option, 12% risk, that would have made you 85%. That's not a bad potential trade there. If you're still in Schlumberger and Halliburton, I'd move my stops up. Prime. I may just take this off the table. We've got earnings in 2 days. And if we close like this, I don't want to wake up and it's down. I mean, this is a moving stock. Like this sucker can move. I don't want to wake up to another 10% drop here. I may take this off the table. Indy, we already stopped out of that before earnings. That saved us some money. I'm just going to take it off the list. It looks like garbage now. Potential trades. BIB, Biogen. Potential bullish move. I don't know if I want to take that with where the market's at. We've got Iridium, IRDM. I like this a lot. I need a trigger. I don't have a 30-minute trigger. I can't take the trade. If we get a 30-minute trigger, maybe. Cypher, same. This has earnings tomorrow morning. Can't do anything. Let's see what happens on earnings. But if we hold this channel, moving from 14 to 20 is pretty daggum nice, right? I mean, that would be your last trigger. That's 13%. This ended up making 25. 14 to make 21. We're probably looking at 10 to 12% to come up and make 28. So just be careful with that. This is probably my favorite trade, which is Cisco short. Downside is it's a lot of risk. It's not a lot of risk. If we go to 80-50, it is. It's 4%. I like this though. I like this a lot. I'm probably going to get into a short position here by the end of the day. If we close like this, for sure, I'll update that on the DMU. AVGO, follow through tomorrow. Honestly, I like this short. This will most likely move with NVIDIA, though. NVIDIA's got earnings coming up in a couple days. $225, so be cautious with AVGO. But I do like this short. I really do like that short. Everything else I'm waiting on. If the market ends up rolling over hard, what would be ideal would be this look tomorrow. NVIDIA kind of be a non-event or slightly lower and get this look. Take a short here, with this being our target. That would be ideal. And what we would look for here is an inverse ETF. So if you go to your watch lists and you go to inverse ETFs that we've imported, that's going to be SH or SPXU. This doesn't look bad. Right now, this would be about a 4% risk to come up. You're really wanting to get that 6.5% move up here. If you use SH, this is your 1-to-1. This is where we're risking, 1.3% to try and come up to make 2+, right? So it just depends on if you want the leverage or not. You could look at call options on these. Just make sure you've got enough open interest. I don't know if you do or don't, but make sure you've got enough open interest here if you're going to do that. But this looks pretty good. These look pretty good. So if we get follow through short in the markets, we could look at legging into an inverse and then having that as our stop. Because if we were to get that bullish follow through, you're stopped out anyway. Like, that we're not dropping, right? Like if we take out this high, today's high, I know we're not going lower. Does that make sense? But if we get follow through tomorrow, that's a great stop. And we've got way more downside targets than we have upside targets here. So let's see if we can get that. Bloom Energy. It's blossoming. You're right in the middle of a channel here, Deborah. This looks awesome. You're just right in the middle of a channel. So right now, you're stopped 16% to make 10 to 13%. If you're down here, like your better trade would have been the 17th. So last Tuesday, 10% to come up and make 16 to 20. That's your better trade. We'll put it on the list and look at it, but I wouldn't do anything here personally. I would not do anything here personally, okay? All right, guys, I love y'all. I hope you crushed it today. I hope you made money in the day trade room, swing trade room, all the rooms. Ryan did, so be like Ryan. All right, I love y'all. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll see everybody on the DMU, all right? Thanks, team. Appreciate you being on. Everybody on YouTube, we appreciate you guys as well.